Hey, welcome to Craft Central Designs. My name is Dwynn, and today I have for you this very cute Easter wreath made with a beaded ring base. I created this one with mostly Hobby Lobby materials, all of which were 40% off. However, this bunny wreath can be made totally from Dollar Tree materials as well, as Dollar Tree does carry a beaded wreath frame, wood cutout bunny, florals and greenery, the carrots, and embellishments. I will fill you in more about that in a bit. In the meantime, welcome to all. I'm so pleased you stopped by my channel today, and I hope you feel inspired to make this wreath. And if you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. Okay, let me show you how I made this wreath. This is the beaded wreath frame. I did purchase this at Hobby Lobby at 40% off. They do have a beaded wreath frame at the Dollar Tree. This is a 14-inch wreath frame. I'm not certain if Dollar Tree's is exactly 14-inch. It might be just a bit smaller. You'll have to take a look at that if you go to Dollar Tree and you want to make this wreath. But no matter if it's 12 inches or 14 inches, the bottom line is what you need is a wood cutout bunny that just fits inside of that wreath frame. And you can make this wreath. I have here some larger wood beads. I thought I was going to change out the wood beads that came on that wire, but I ended up not doing that. Thought they were a little bit too big, so I just stayed with the bead size that came on the wreath. And again, that's the one that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. And this is the bunny that I got at Hobby Lobby as well. Now, this bunny is cute, but I think I can make it a little bit cuter. So I'm going to redo this bunny. Now, they do have a couple of different cute wood cutout bunnies at the Dollar Tree. Again, just make sure, as I'm showing you here, that that bunny fits and sits comfortably inside of that wreath form. This is a bunny cutout. I believe this one is from the Dollar Tree. Yes, I'm pretty sure. And so I'm showing you there, just as long as it fits. And you could take any wood cutout bunny and redo it and make it really, really cute. And I'm going to show you how I decided to give my bunny cutout a makeover. You can cover the bunny with scrapbook paper, any type of fabric. I'm choosing to use a white burlap on mine. Now, at one point in time, and I have seen it not rather recently, Dollar Tree had some burlap in the Crafter's Square section. I have there some plaster chalk paint, Waverly, that I'm going to use to just put a coat of paint on that bunny. I was going to make a burlap flower out of this poly mesh, but I didn't end up doing that. So you see that little piece of pink burlap there. I ended up not opting to do that. Sometimes when I start a project, I have all these grand ideas, and then I change my mind midway. So that's a crafter's prerogative. So I have here some felt sheets that come in a package in the Crafter's Square section. I'm going to use the pink with the little white polka dots, and that's going to be for the paws of the bunny. I'm just going to cut out the little paws for the bunny out of that felt. Now, I did take off that green ribbon, and I painted that bunny. As I mentioned, I used plaster, so I just wanted a plaster color. I just wanted a nice coat of paint to cover up the eyes and the paws. And I have that little piece of poly mesh there. I was thinking about making a little flower for the bunny's neck to look like, if you're familiar with how to make burlap flowers, but I'll do a video on that one day. But I thought it would be cute around the neck. Then I ended up changing my mind. So again, just disregard that pink piece of poly mesh there. I have here a collection of the carrots that they sell in the Easter department at the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to be doing is take another piece of that burlap, and I'm going to create a little burlap sack to put my carrots in, the bunny's carrots. And I have there a little piece of jute twine from the Crafter Square section at the Dollar Tree. I have there some black wire, again from the Dollar Tree. So what I said in my intro is very true, that you could do this entire wreath from Dollar Tree materials. And every time I go in any Dollar Tree, I always see that beaded wreath. So I think that will be an easy one to find. Now I'm going to be giving my carrots a makeover. I have this, this is one of my favorite greeneries from Hobby Lobby. Every other week it's 40% off, but I think it makes great greenery for carrots. So this is another type of greenery that I'm going to be using on the piece. It's kind of like a mini baby boxwood kind of feel to it. The other one is a little bit more of a fine greenery, a little bit feathery. And I have there some florals. Not really certain which ones I'm going to use at the onset, but I'm just pull out as many types of florals as I think will look good on the piece. I did end up using those. I generally like to use multiple types of floral on any wreath that I do. And so I'm showing you there a selection of florals and our greenery, and their greenery at Hobby Lobby is on sale every other week at 40% off. There's some mini baby roses from Hobby Lobby. Now, Dollar Tree does have greenery. So again, like I mentioned, you can do this entire wreath from items from the Dollar Tree. So I have there some different types of craft tools. I have a tweezer, which I ended up using. This is a gorgeous pink ribbon, 2.5 inch, that I had gotten on sale at Michael's when they were buy two, get two free. This is the most yummy shade of pink, and it just looks absolutely beautiful on this wreath. Now, again, Dollar Tree has 2.5 inch ribbons, a selection of them. So you could pick up your ribbons at the Dollar Tree. What I'm showing you there is I traced around my bunny on that burlap fabric with a pencil, and I'm going to just cut that out with scissors. Now, the feet, and I'm showing you here, the feet on this bunny are actually like two separate from the main bunny cutout. So I had to cut those out separately, as I'm showing you there. And then I cut out my bunny, the body of my bunny, and that's a separate piece as well. I'm going to be Mod Podging this on to that bunny after I paint it. But the reason why I painted it with what I'm showing you here is the Waverly Plaster Chalk Paint was because I didn't want the eyes or the whiskers or the paws to show through. The burlap, sorry, couldn't speak there for a second. But I'm going to go ahead and paint that. And I just gave the bunny one coat, but I believe I went over the paws and the face with another coat. Now I'm creating my little sack for my carrots for the bunny. Now I just took a piece of burlap fabric, and it's around 4 inches by 4 inches. and I folded it in half, and I'm just going to take some Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to leave one side open, and that will be the top of my little sack that's going to be holding my carrots. So you have to leave the top open so you can put your carrots inside of there. And I'm just going to set that aside and let that dry while I work on the other elements of my wreath. But this turns out so cute. One thing that I ended up using that I didn't mention in the items intro was I used a little bit of batting to stick down in the bottom of that burlap bag before I put my carrots in. Now I'm showing you that I'm snipping off all of the tops of the carrots because I think that we can make those carrots look much better than they do now. So I just took a little screwdriver. You can use any kind of tool with a point. And I picked out any of the residue from the green tops that were on the carrots. And then I just kind of screwdrivered my screwdriver and made a little hole in the top. And I'm just going to put a little hot glue down inside of the hole and stick some little pieces of that greenery down inside of there. And this turns out really cute. And you can do this with different types of greenery. This just happens to be the one that I think looks kind of authentic to actual greenery that's on the top of a carrot. I put 3 little pieces in each, on the top of each carrot. And I did all of the carrots that go in that sack, which there's 6 carrots altogether. I'm not going to be putting the carrots in the little burlap sack until that sack dries. Okay, now we have this beautiful pink ribbon, and I'm going to be creating a bow for my piece. I left about an 8-inch tail. On the bottom, I'm just going to pinch that ribbon where I want to mark off or start my tail. I'm going to be creating, I want to say 9-inch loops. Not as large a bow as I normally make, but I think around 9 inches is good for the length of each of those loops. I'm going to use my standard method that I use for doing bows. I fold over my loops, pinch it in the center, catch it with my thumb and my index finger. That's how I hold all my loops secure in the center. I'm going to match up all of my loops. I just eyeball them in size. Pinch my ribbon, twist it, fold it over, and you can see me catching it with my thumb there. So I have a 4-loop bow, 2 loops on each side. I'm going to take a pink pipe cleaner because I always try and match my pipe cleaners to the ribbon that I'm using to make a bow. Bring it around the back, twist it a couple of times to secure all those loops together. Now I'm going to create one center loop on that bow. So I just turn my ribbon under, catch it with my thumb, the size that I want my center loop. And I'm going to take that pipe cleaner from around the back, stick it through the center loop, and pull it around the back and twist it. And this ribbon is wonderful to work with. This is a Celebrate ribbon from Michaels. But as I mentioned, they do have wired 2.5-inch ribbons at the Dollar Tree. They have a good selection, pinks and different prints and orchids, whatever color you choose to put on your bunny wreath. They also have a nice burlap pink and a burlap kind of a minty green. So you could go with any of those colors as an option. I just chose pink for mine. Now I have a very pretty bow to place on my bunny wreath. Now this is the bigger of the two bows. I did do another smaller bow. This bigger one is going to go around 7 to 8 o'clock on the wreath. And then my smaller bow is going to go up at the top like around 1 to 2 o'clock. And I'll show you what I mean by that later. Now I have my little burlap sack that where my carrots are going to go in. And I took just a little piece of batting. And I'm just going to stuff that down inside of there to give my bag a little bit of shape. And I also want my carrots to be peeking out the top. And again, I believe I cut this in a 4-inch by 4-inch so that it would be a 4-inch by 4-inch bag. So now I'm going to pop my carrots, line them up across the top. And I am going to use some hot glue to secure the carrots and keep them in place. After I do that, I have a little piece of jute twine there on the table, as you can see, and I'm going to wrap that around and tie a little bow on it. And this also adds a nice pop of color on this wreath. And notice how I place my carrots. They're not all in a single line. I have 2 in the front, 4 in the back. And after I arrange them, I do use a little bit of hot glue because I don't want them to slide down in the bag. I want them to stay peeking out. But I also want them to stay in place while I wrap around that jute cord. I didn't mention it in the materials intro, but of course, we always have to have our glue gun plugged in because who could live without a glue gun? I mean, really. And scissors, of course, paintbrush, a sponge applicator, some of the items that I didn't mention before. And now I'm going about tying that little piece of jute twine around my little burlap sack of carrots. Now I'm going to gather it a little bit. You see what I'm doing there? And then I'm going to tie a little bow there. I think I did end up putting a little bit of hot glue there to hold that so I could get that bow exactly the way I wanted it. Yeah, I did. Now I remember that the burlap wanted to keep opening up, so I pulled my jute twine tight there, and I put a little dab of glue on it and let it kind of dry a little bit. Then I tied my little bow. This was such a cute addition to this wreath. I've never made a wreath with a beaded wreath form before. This is the first time. And I have to say that I absolutely love it. It's a nice a change from the deco mesh and the grapevine, and I just love it. I love the way it turned out. And here we have our really so cute burlap bag of Dollar Tree carrots. Love it. Okay, now here we go with our bunny. Now I have everything all cut out. It was easy enough just to trace around that wood cut out bunny and just cut out my burlap. So I'm going to be using Mod Podge, and I'm going to do it in small sections so I can make sure that my bunny is aligned on that wood cutout. So if I do it in small sections, it's easier to manage that. Now, I mentioned before that you could use scrapbook paper. You could use a printed fabric. You could just paint it, or you could just leave it the way it was. That's up to you. I have a love for giving something a whole new look. So that's exactly what I did here, as you can see. Now, with my little pink felt fabric from the Dollar Tree, I just eyeballed it and I cut out the paws. And I'm going to be just using Aleene's tacky glue to glue those right to the bunny feet. Now, what I'm planning here is I'm thinking about how I'm going to do the bunny face. And so I have some black wire, floral wire, which I got at the Dollar Tree, I mentioned. And what I'm going to do is cut 3 pieces of that wire. And I'm going to create some whiskers because I'm going to give my bunny a face. So what I do is I cut them long enough to go from one side of the bunny's face to the other. I can always trim them down later. And I'm going to use a pink bead, and I'm going to feed those 3 wires through the pink bead, and I'm going to put it right in the center, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on each side of the hole, and that will kind of hold those wires from moving around. And this little pink bead came from a package of beads from the Crafter's Square section. Now you can use Aleene's tacky glue for each side of the bead, or you could even use a little bit of hot glue, as long as you have the ability to just put a tiny dab of hot glue in there. You don't want to get a big blob of hot glue there. But that's just for the purpose of holding the whiskers. I'm just going to let that dry now for a while because it's Aleene's tacky glue, so it needs to set. And now this is something I've done in the past, actually on a bunny that I did for a wreath for last Easter. It was on my channel. If you look back on through my videos, you can see I did another bunny wreath. That one was actually from a rabbit or a bunny wood cut out from the Dollar Tree last Easter. Now, what I did was I took some pink and white. It's kind of a twisted baker's twine, and it's really, really pretty and matches very well with the pinks. And I'm going to outline my bunny. I'm using there a quill glue applicator, and it simply has Elmer's glue inside. And the reason why I love this is because it has a very fine point tip. And this allows me to just put a fine stream of glue. And I'm just going to take that baker's twine and follow along the perimeter of the bunny. And I'm going to outline my bunny with this pretty baker's twine. Now this does take a little bit of patience, but it actually does not take that long to do. I actually did outline the paws on the feet as well. So because that's Elmer's glue, it's going to have to dry. And now I'm showing you there, it's all outlined. I had to correct a couple of little spots you can see there, but I did correct them. Now, you can use Aleene's tacky glue on this or any kind of glue like that, like a tacky glue. You don't want to use hot glue. It's too fine of a point of glue that you need, unless you have a super fine tipped glue gun with a low temp. You could do that, but okay. So on to the whiskers. I'm taking a pencil and just curling my whiskers, 3 on each side. And the eyes that you see on there are little black buttons, fabric covered. You could use little black beads as well, which I have seen at the Dollar Tree. My little covered buttons were from Hobby Lobby. Now, I decided that the way I was going to get this bunny to sit on this wreath was I took a painter stick and some wood glue, and I created a piece to go across the bottom. I want to say I went up about 2 inches from the bottom. And on each side of the back of the wreath form, I put a little bit of Gorilla wood glue to glue that painter stick right on to that beaded wreath frame. And this created a good base for my bunny. And I'm showing you there, I took my wire cutters and just kind of snipped away a little bit of the painter stick. I'm sure you probably have a better way to do that. My miter shears would not cut through that painter stick, though. I'm showing you there, I used my Gorilla Wood glue, and I just glued that right to the beaded frame because I thought that would hold it really, really well. Now, I put on the back of my bunny some pipe cleaners because I'm also going to use that to attach to the wreath wire of that beaded wreath. So I'm going to take my bunny and put my pipe cleaners, one under, one over, and I'm just going to twist it right around the wire that's holding those beads. And because those beads have a little bit of movement on the wire, you can actually slide your pipe cleaner right in between a bead, twist it in the back, and now that's going to hold the bunny on the bottom. As well, underneath, you could put a little bit of glue. And you can see there that I was trying out my bag of carrots to make sure everything fit and sat the way I wanted it to on that wreath. So I have my wood glue holding my painter stick. I used the pipe cleaners on the back of the bunny. I put a little piece of felt on the back of the bunny as well over the pipe cleaners. Just as many types of adherence, if you will, that I could to hold that firmly on the bottom of that wreath. Now I'm going to take my hot glue gun and glue down my bag of carrots right to the bunny. Now you're probably thinking, well, how is that bunny going to, stand up by just placing it as I have thus far on the wreath frame? Well, I'll show you. I came up with a great idea to secure the ears at the top. And I'll show you that in just a moment. So I took my hot glue gun and just put some extra dabs of glue. Now all this around the bottom is not all of it, but a lot of it is going to be covered up with greenery. So you're not going to see the painter's stick at all. So I'm going to start applying my greenery, and I'm going to apply a bed of greenery around the bottom half of that beaded wreath. So I'm going to begin by just placing down my greenery to see how much I want, how short I want to snip it off with my wire cutters. Just doing kind of a dry run there to see exactly how I want to position it. And I want to get everything in place and know exactly what I'm doing before I go to take my floral wire, which, by the way, I used green floral wire. Again, that can be purchased from the Dollar Tree. I have my little pretty ferns that I used on this piece. Now, one of my bunny feet, for the most part, is going to be pretty covered up, but I made sure that I left the other bunny foot peeking out because I wanted that to be seen. So I decided to use, I believe, 4 different types of greenery on here. I did use some lamb's ear, which you're going to see in a moment. I didn't use those little dainty pink flowers. I generally buy all of my florals and greenery from Hobby Lobby because I do so at 40% off every other week. I just love Hobby Lobby florals. They're just supreme quality, and I prefer that for my wreaths, but sometimes Dollar Tree does get in some impressive florals, so check that out at your Dollar Tree. You could use any type of florals that you want. Roses, little small tulips. Oh, there's just so many. Daisies. You could use so many different types of flowers. Different types. Whatever is your favorite. First thing I'm going to do is to wire down my greenery. And I've done so there. And I also placed my bow on by wrapping the pipe cleaners around that wire wreath frame. I also have a couple of other pretty white flowers that I put on my wreath. Now I'm showing you here, this is what the idea I came up with to hold up the top of the bunny. I put a nice heavy wire on the back of that bunny's ears. I put a piece of felt on each side as another layer of adherence. Now I'm going to take that wire, it's a silver wire, and I'm just going to wrap it around the wreath frame on the top in 2 places. Now this is going to be the stabilizer for my bunny at the top, and it works like a charm. I was so happy. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, but I can see those wires going from the bunny ear to the wire of the beaded frame. Well, I have a solution to completely camouflage those. You will not see them. And I'll show you that in just a moment. By the way, I went ahead and glued on the nose of my bunny. I created a mouth with black floral wire, and I glued on the eyes. See the pretty white flowers I added on? Those are Hobby Lobby. Those bigger ones that I'm showing you right there. Oh, they're so pretty. One of my favorite flowers is one that I get there. I'm showing you. These are absolutely gorgeous. They're so realistic. I picked up a stem of those at Hobby Lobby. Other florals are 40% off. You can see I added some lamb's ear there. Notice how you don't see the painter's stick. Now I'm just letting everything dry there. And I'm going to show you, this is how I'm covering up the wire I'm placing that bow. Now note, it's only one loop on each side with a center loop. Some little tails that I curled up the ribbon, the tails facing outward. And I'm going to take a butterfly, place it on the ear of the bunny. So it looks like the butterfly is rested on the ear of the bunny. Completely covers up that wire that I used to attach the bunny ears to the wreath wire. Is that not a great idea or what? I love this wreath. I think it's so pretty. And the delicious, wonderful, beautiful shade of pink in that ribbon just makes it. But I could also see this in orchids. I could see this wreath with a minty green. A mixture of colors would be beautiful as well. So I put this little bow on the same way I put the other one on, wrapping the pipe cleaner around that wire of that beaded frame, cutting the pipe cleaner off in the back. And there you go. Look at that. It is covering the wire. Now I'm going to take my little butterfly. The butterfly. They do have butterflies at Dollar Tree. Again, I keep saying that because you can make this, again, from all Dollar Tree items. But my butterfly came from Hobby Lobby. And it was in this section with all of the stickers. And I'm placing it right on top of the bunny ear, which I thought was such a cute idea. Looks like that butterfly is just flew by and rested on the ear of that bunny. And now my wreath wires, the wires that I used to secure my bunny, are completely hidden. I glued all of my flowers on. Now, if yours wreath is going to be outside, you may want to add tacky glue wherever you use hot glue. But a lot of this is wired on, so you don't have to do too much of that. Now, I wanted to put a little bow on the ear of the bunny. Now, I had this little gingham check from the Dollar Tree. Love this ribbon. They have a whole selection of gingham check ribbons right now. Black, orange, blue. I picked up 4 colors yesterday. Love these little gingham ribbons. And for all this talk about the gingham ribbon, I didn't end up using this one. But I did use another Dollar Tree ribbon that has little Easter eggs on it. So I'm just showing you there. I just made a little 2-loop bow. I'm going to pop a little sticker flower in the center of that bow. And there it is on my finger. I got that in the same department that I got my butterfly at Hobby Lobby. But I'm sure you could find something to suffice at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to pop that right in the center with a little bit of hot glue. But like I said, I decided that I have this thing about pinks, which, if you follow my channel, I get crazy about pinks. And to me, this pink was so pretty, but it wasn't quite the right pink. So I made a little bow out of a Dollar Tree ribbon with little Easter eggs on it with that pink flower in the center. And it's so pretty. I'll show you a close-up of that in a second. Now for the to hang the wreaths, I just put a little piece of that jute twine from Crafter's Square. I just wanted something small and not too conspicuous at the top of the wreath. And I just fed it through and around the beads and just tied a knot. That's how you can hang that wreath. And I'm going to show you a little close-up tour like I usually do of the wreath. Now you can see that beautiful pink bow. I have all my flowers and greenery all attached. Some of the greenery I glued. Some of it I wired on. All the base greenery I wired on. There's my cute little whiskers and my bunny face. I just distributed my flowers around the wreath. I have my baker's twine all outlining my bunny, my butterfly, and my smaller pink bow to hide that wire. And there's that little bow with the eggs. That's a very cute Dollar Tree ribbon. And I have to say, I love this wreath, and I hope you do as well. And if you like this one, I hope you leave me your comments. Let me know what you think of this one. And if you want to make this wreath on a budget, as I mentioned about 20 times in this video, you could do it with Dollar Tree items. If you like what you see on my channel and you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. I have more Easter decor coming up, some centerpieces, another wreath. I'm going to be doing some Dollar Tree wood cutouts. So until next time, you all take care.